Ladies and gentlemen, Season 2 in Call of Duty Black Ops 6 is finally out, and I have the best settings to help you with aim, movement, FPS, audio, and more. And there is going to be some new settings that we'll be talking about during the video, but let's start off with graphics and display. So make sure it is on full screen exclusive. This is the #1 way to get more frames. Obviously, make sure it's on the right display adapter. Make sure your screen refresh rate is on the right number. I have 240 hertz. Display resolution, you want to make sure that all these things are correct. And also for brightness, I usually like to play a little bit higher, so like usually like 52, 53, 54, just because this game might seem a little bit dark. The NVIDIA reflex, make sure this is on at least on for multiplayer, but you can do on plus boost if it makes you happier. VSync off, VSync menu off. This is really good to help you have more frames. Optimal off, focus on 0, and then for the HDR on automatic. Next, let's talk about quality. So I have it, obviously you want to again check, make sure it's on the right resolution, which is mine's a 1440p monitor. Make sure this is off. So for my upscale and sharpening, I do use fidelity cast, and this does hurt your frames a little bit, but it makes your game look so much better. And have it all the way up to 90. Now it does make a huge difference. In my opinion, it's usually worth it. I have this off, VRAM scale target 70, on, normal, low, off, low, very low, off, low, optimized, low. And the thing you understand, a lot of this is to get more FPS while still maintaining good quality. Very low, off, low, tessellation off, low, off, and off. Now for the view, there's some important stuff to talk about. So FOV, I do play on 103. Now I highly recommend somewhere between 95 to 105 FOV. Why, you may ask? Usually under 107 FOV you get more aim assist, so that's one thing to note. Two, in multiplayer you kind of want to be more zoomed in because it's going to be easier to hit your targets. That's why you see a lot of pro players usually play around 100 FOV. So I'm currently on 103. I really do like it. I feel like it's not too zoomed out, but not too zoomed in either. And make sure your ADS field of view is unaffected. This is going to help you have a less recoil or less visual recoil. Weapon field of view wide. This doesn't really matter. It's third person. And this is going to help with, again, visual recoil, just visual in general. Make sure you have this off. Weapon motion blur off. And then first person camera movement to 15%. This is going to reduce the shaking. Because basically, if you have this all the way at 100%, the shaking on your screen is going to be annoying and it's going to distract you. And something I do have on right now, inverted flashbangs. When that flashbang hits you and your screen goes white, bro, I feel like it hurts in my eyes. So I turned this on. It basically, instead of going white, it goes black. It kind of looks like your monitor turned off, but you'll be okay. Next, I want to break down a lot of the controller settings or mouse and keyboard settings because it's very important. So they actually changed the sensitivity numbers recently. So I am playing on 1.6. This is basically equivalent to 7.7 in this game, and I personally like it a lot. I feel like I'm able to still center really good and obviously snap on my targets. So this is something you can obviously mess around with. I really recommend somewhere between 1.5 to 1.7. If you're going higher than that or going lower than that, that's a good range to work with. Okay, so make sure to do that. I do have this on flipped, so I have this on. Vibration, you always want to have it off. Now, dead zone inputs. I have my dead zone inputs a lot different than maybe most of you guys. So my left stick automatically on 1 and my left stick max on 65. Now, this is going to allow my movement to be super reactive. When I move my stick, I instantly slide, or I instantly move forward. And that's also good with like sliding, right? Because you want to get that full tactical sprint into a slide, that full momentum. So I have this on the left stick 1, max 65. My left stick is just like super reactive. So you can see like instantly, right? To hit my max, all I got to go is to 65% of the stick. I don't got to go all the way to the end, and it automatically goes to the full range. And then obviously my minimum is 1. So as soon as I move, it's already moving. So that's a good thing to do. Now, right stick, I don't recommend you have it higher than 5. If you have it higher than 5, you're going to hurt your aim. So people have 10, 11, 15, like you are messing up your aim. 5-ish should be your highest, man. And even if you have a little stick drift on 5, like you can control it, man. Stick drift is like not the end of the world while you're playing. So I recommend 5 or lower. I usually like 3 or 4. I'm currently on 4 right now. And I just feel like you have more control of your aim. And then never touch the right stick max. It's going to hurt you more than it'll help you in most cases. Left trigger, right trigger, both on 0. Now, with me playing on 1.6, if you go to your sensitivity multiplier, I do play on 0.95 ADS. So when I'm ADS, when I'm aimed down sight, my sense is a little bit slower, and that's going to help me hit those crazy shots and those lasers at range. And I personally like that more. You can try that out. And for target aim assist, of course, have this on. But let's go to the aiming advanced settings. So there's a couple things we want to talk about. I have this on instant. The transition timing from when you ADS and shoot. I used to have it on gradual, or I don't know if the game started you on gradual. Instant just feels so much better, especially on this game. The movement is fast. The mechanics are crazy. People are sliding back and forth. Gradual, unless you up your sense really high, I feel like gradual is so hard to like trace sometimes or like snap on 2 targets. Instant gets the job done. Obviously, aim response curve type, I do have this on dynamic. Now, I've played on all 3. Dynamic is just the number 1. It's just the go-to. It's always been the go-to. It just feels the most consistent. That's why 90 to 95% of pros are using dynamic. It's just a no-brainer. Now let's talk about some movement stuff. I do play on tactical sprint assist on, which is basically like automatic tac sprint. I do have my sprint assist delay on 0 and sprint assist sideways, sprint assist backwards on. Now, this is going to allow you to use that Omni movement so much easier, right? You get that full sprint, the full momentum right away. You can slide back, sideways, sprint, automatic tac sprint, sideways, backwards really fast. It's awesome. You definitely want to be running that. Mantle assist off, crouch assist off, corner slice off. I usually have this on, but it kind of hurts you more than it helps you. It's a cool like looking effect, like leaning and stuff and all that, but it doesn't actually do anything in game, right? It doesn't really change. You're not actually leaning to your opponent. So it just kind of, it's almost hurting you / pointless. So have it off. Slide dive behavior. I am a slide only player. I've been a slide only player for a month plus now. I just feel like I would dive by accident and it will get me killed sometimes. I think diving is fun. Yes, it can help sometimes. I think there's some certain scenarios where diving is beneficial, especially in this game with the Omni movement and whatnot. But I definitely am sliding 90% of the time. I'm definitely utilizing a slide like I'm trying to utilize it to its full potential and not mess up and not like dead slide or not dive by accident. And you know, there's some pros who are using slide only because it just like, I don't know. I feel like it just feels better. If not, you can use hybrid if you want to dive as well. Okay, automatic airborne mantle on. Some people like this off. I currently have this on. Sprint restored and slide maintain sprint. Make sure to have these both on. That's going to help with your movement way more. And then want to go to movement advanced settings. There's a few things here. Auto door peak's pretty nice. You want to put that on. Tactical sprint activation, make sure it's on single tap sprint. Plunging underwater, make sure this is on free. And of course, sprinting door bash on. So there's nothing really more in the combat section. So let's now move on to the audio. So right now, I do have my master game volume on 100, gameplay music volume and cinematic music volume 0 because it helps you at all. It doesn't help you at all. Dialogue volume at 60 so you can hear your character calling stuff out, you know, like kill streak inbound type stuff. Effects volume on 100. Effects obviously the most important, so you definitely want to have that blasting. So that's currently what I'm rocking right now. And obviously if you go down as well, I have it on Treyarch mix. Sucker Punch is also a really good one if you want to like have it a little bit louder. Sucker Punch really gets the audio going, so I'd really recommend this one or Sucker Punch. Make sure this is off, and then I have this one on and I like it more. Oh, and I do have hit markers preset on classic. I don't know, it just hits different. I really do like it more. And there's also some important things we want to talk about in the interface, so let's go right here. So if you want to see your FPS or anything in the top left, make sure you come over here and you can turn any of these on, like your packet loss, server latency, FPS counter. This is a really cool setting to have, especially obviously if you're on PC. Now, there's some cool things to talk about in this section. So first of all, let's talk about color customization. If you want your game to look more poppin', colorful, vibrant, this game, you guys know by default usually isn't the most brightest, the most colorful. So you want to do is go to filter 2. You want to put both, and you want to make sure you put these both at 100. That's going to make your game pop. It's going to give it some more color, especially if you're on, you know, even if you're not on PC or if you're on console, whatever it may be. So, and then you can also change the colors of you, your enemy, all the stuff. I've messed with it before, but like I don't really care for that anymore. And then you want to go to gameplay HUD. Now, There's some pretty cool HUD presets. You can use standard. I've used magnified before. It makes your minimap look so much bigger, which kind of like easier to see. I would say those are the two best ones. Your HUD balance, you're going to want to make sure it's all the way inside. You're going to want to squeeze that bad boy in as much as you can. This is going to allow you to have your minimap closer to your screen. So when you're playing, you can look at your minimap easier, which is the #1 thing on your screen, other than obviously shooting the targets and playing the game. But minimap is so important, man. It gives you so much information, especially once you learn like how to use it more, how to reach spawns, whatever it may be. And then obviously you can see the other good stuff like your ammo, your weapons. Like it's just easier to see everything on your HUD. Minimap makes sure it's square. It makes it a little bit bigger, which obviously is a plus and it's very good. Minimap rotation, make sure it's on, and that's going to be huge things for the minimaps. Now also crosshair, I do like static. Someone told me to use it once and I've been using it ever since. It just feels nice. And then you can have the center dot on as well, so you get the crosshair dot. I like larger. Just looks just too big, and default is like kind of small, you know, that's what she said. But larger just feels really like good and spot on. So this is kind of what you can obviously change the crosshair colors or the dot. I have mine currently on yellow, just makes it easier to see. And when I'm shooting my targets, another good one is teal. Very good color. And then obviously I have all this by default. So I broke down the best settings that I can give you. And as always, I'm live on Twitch every single day, twitch.tv/Apathy. I would love for you to swing by, come say hi, and support the stream. Hope you have a wonderful day, and we're going to be uploading more content soon, so stay tuned.